Welcome to Maximizer. After we enter our username and password and click Login, we are presented with the main opening screen in Maximizer. Now, if this is the very first time you've opened Maximizer, you're probably wondering one or both of two things. What am I looking at, and how do I find any of the people I want to keep track of? Well, let's start with the people. The rest will fall into place. Suppose I want to keep track of Francis Smith, a person I do business with at a company called Ajax Chemicals. I begin by clicking up here on Edit, Add a Company, or simply clicking on this plus point right here to add a new company. I add the name Ajax Chemicals and all the rest of the information that I have for Ajax. When I now click Save, Ajax Chemicals shows up in my main address book screen. And now that we have Ajax in place, I can add Francis. To do that, I click up here again on Edit, but this time I click on Add Contact. I fill in all the information that I have for Francis, and once again I click Save. Now look what I have done. My main screen already contains entries and people that are important to me and with whom I want to develop a strong business relationship. All these other tabbed windows down here exist to help me keep track of information related to these people up here, more specifically in this case to Francis, who is highlighted. As you can see, I am currently working in what is called the address book. All these other modules over here on the left provide a place where I can quickly store and see information related not only to the person I have highlighted in my address book window, but to every person in my database. And all these drop-down menus on the top of my screen here are going to give me options for things I can do with the people in my main address book window. You know, that really is about it. Here's my main window where I get to see any or all of the people with whom I'm building relationships. Here are the tab following windows where I keep track of information related to whoever I'm highlighting up here. And over here are all the storage bins for information related to all of my database entries. And finally, up here are the drop-down menus that allow me to do various things with the people with whom I'm building relationships in my main address book window. But even though you can probably figure out your own way from here, let me quickly run through a few more things to make that journey just a bit easier. For starters, there are a lot of tab following windows here. In case you don't want to have to work with all of them, you can simply click on this little icon here, deselect the ones that you're not interested in seeing, click OK, and thereafter they simply will not show up for you. I'm not going to deselect any right now because I want to tell you what each of them can do for you. Similarly, if you don't want to have to be looking at all of these modules over here, you can come over here to the right, click on this gear, click on Customize the Icon Bar, and again, deselect the ones that you don't want to have to be looking at each time you open up Maximizer. In this case, I would click OK, and I would click Save to reduce the number of modules I would be looking at. Once again, I'll click Cancel. Back to the tab windows. If I look at the Details window, it contains exactly what its name implies, basic details about any entry that I'm highlighting up here. Conveniently, if I want to shift from Francis over to Ajax Chemicals itself, I can hover here and do that without having to make any change up here. These two tab windows are related to applications that I have activated in the app directory. The Custom tab is a very convenient way of looking at several of the tab windows all in one place. The Map tab gives me an indication of where this entry is located. The Contacts tab window shows me the same entries I was seeing by hovering over here, only with more information. The User Defined Field tab shows me all of the custom fields that are available for me to characterize or describe my relationship with Francis Smith or anyone else I'm highlighting in my main window. Whenever I talk to Francis or learn something new about her, I'm going to want to go to my Notes window and add a detailed note about what happened, and that note will be date and time stamped. The Documents window gives me a place to store emails sent to or received from Francis, as well as copies of any contracts that I enter into with her, pictures of her plant, for that matter, pictures of her pet Great Dane. The History tab window allows me to see documents and notes in a chronological sequence that allows me to see the flow of the process that I'm using to develop this relationship with Frances. My Activities window is a great place to keep track of tasks and appointments that I have with Frances. Over here on the left, I have a task module, which we call Hot List, and I also have a calendar module. In these places, I can keep track of the tasks and appointments I've made with everybody in the database, whereas over here in Activities, I keep track of the tasks and appointments that specifically relate to Frances. If Frances came to me as a brand new lead, I might have entered her into my Leads module and my Leads Following window here, prior to converting her to an opportunity and then converting her to a customer. Once again, the module over here for leads and the module for opportunity contain information relative to everyone in the database, whereas leads and opportunities over here are specific to Frances and to her company, Ajax Chemicals. If something ever goes wrong with an order that Frances has placed with me, I may want to record that in my customer service case window right here. And again, if I have issues related to anybody in the database, they can and will show up in my customer service module over here. This is general, this is specific. If Ajax Chemicals shares a board of directors with Ajax Construction, for example, I may want to use my Related Entries window to track that relationship. And finally, if I want to keep track of all the changes that are made in my database, I can take advantage of the Auditing tab following window. You'll notice in here, everything that I've done today related to Frances and to Ajax Chemicals has been recorded in this Audit tab. And this is a bona fide audit trail that can be reported upon through the Administrator module. But let's suppose the day has moved on and I've lost track of Frances Smith because I've gone here and cleared the list or done something else that has put her name back into the filing cabinet. How do I get her back again? There are at least 3 ways I can do this. If we uploaded a database for you, you may want to simply go to View, All Entries, Sort by First Name, and look for Frances. And there she is. Alternatively, you could click Search, First Name, type in Frances, and click OK. And again, there she is. But an even faster way would be to come here, type in Frances's name, and select Frances from there. There are other things I can do with these drop-down menus, but I'm going to let that rest for now. What I want you to remember is that you are going to find very quickly that it is easy and intuitive to use Maximizer. As you practice daily, you will gain confidence in yourself, in Maximizer, and in the relationships that you're developing with your customers. The proper care and feeding of Maximizer will result in a trusted companion that will help you achieve all of your business goals. One final note, sprinkled throughout Maximizer, you will find icons like these. The one on the left indicates that there is a training video that's specific to what you're looking at right here. The question mark will take you to the user guide and again to look at information that is specific to where you are working. Up here on the question mark, when you click on it, you can click on walkthroughs to get a high-level introduction to a number of different things that are available in Maximizer. You can click on General Help, which gives you access to customer support, to our Maximizer community, the ability to make suggestions on the product, and access to all of the training videos that we have prepared to help you understand how to use every element of Maximizer. If you are still stuck, click on Support Chat, which can start a new conversation with any of our customer support personnel. Our guys are your guys. When you need help, we're there for you. 2 more final notes. First of all, if you click on Administration and Desktop and Mobile Setup, you can immediately send a URL to your smartphone, which will enable you to access your Maximizer database from anywhere in the world. And if you are a real road warrior, after you log out, you will see over here that you can go to the Google Play Store or to the Apple Store, and you can download the Maximizer mobile app, which is slick, simple, and specifically designed to support salespeople out in the field. And the final note is that we offer regular training that includes a live Q&A at the end of each session where you can bring up specific questions that you want help with. From time to time, you may see that actually advertised here, as well as in our newsletter, and occasionally in direct email solicitations to you. So there you have it, folks. As I said at the very beginning, welcome to Maximizer, and bye for now.